Hi everybody, Lou Levine, rental manager, Fretz RV. I'd like to show you through the Roadtrek Play today. This is a B van that's available for rental. So let's start with the key. One button locks every door. One button unlocks your two front doors, and the third button unlocks your house doors, your rear doors, your side sliding door. Those are the only three buttons you're going to use on a regular basis. It drives just like every other van on the planet. We'll go through the actual driving dynamics when you come to pick it up. When you go to put fuel in it, regular unleaded gas, nothing fancy, regular unleaded. This is the outlet for the coach heater. It says, it has a warning on it, it's hot. With coach heater running, please don't touch it, it's hot, you'll burn yourself. This is the hot water heater. Hot water heater is on demand. As long as it has water, it will supply you with hot water. Run off of the propane tanks that are mounted underneath the van, and it is self-sufficient. All you need to do is turn on the faucet to activate it. Under the black cover is the waste dump system. There's two different dumps on a Roadtrek Play. You have a macerator pump or you have a 3-inch gravity dump. We will go through them in detail before you pick the van up, but they're both located underneath this door. Outside shower. Unlock this, open it up, it's got a hose, it's got an on and off valve for hot and cold water, so you can rinse off the dog, rinse off your feet, rinse off your chairs, what have you, before you bring them back into the coach. Underneath the bumper is where your utilities hook up. Now we give you the cord, 30 amp, 110 cord to plug in, and it hooks in right here. So that cord goes from there to your campsite, which will supply you with 30 amp 110 power. Some of the campsites have 50 amp, which is okay, but you'll need an adapter to adapt from a 50 amp plug to the 30 amp plug that the coach gives you. We give you a cord, it's about 25 feet, comes with the coach. Next to that is a cable hookup. Really nobody uses cable anymore, but some of the campgrounds still offer it. So if they offer it and you want it, there it is. The fresh water. Now the coach gets fresh water two different ways. It has a holding tank and it has a city feed. So we give you a garden hose. We give you 20 foot of garden hose. Garden hose hooks up right to this fixture. Unscrew, screw your hose on, turn your hose bib on in the campground, and that supplies the coach with all the fresh water that it needs. Now in the winter months, it's winterized and you can't hook fresh water up to it. But anytime between April and October, that's your freshwater hookup. Come on, let me show you where to fill the holding tank. If you want to take water with you, operate the toilet, the sink, what have you, there's a red plug. Pull the red plug and your garden hose sticks right in there, turn the hose on and fill your holding tank. Go around the other side. Right door opens first. These doors articulate all the way open. So when you're walking around in a campground, you don't walk into them. Future reference, this is your tabletop. We'll show you how that works a little bit later. Storage. This is the power cord we talked about before. This is a jack. The power cord also comes with an adapter. Takes the 30 amp cord that comes with the coach and adapts it to plug into a regular 15 amp outlet. So if you're going to plug it in at home and you don't have a 30 amp, and keep in mind it's 30 amp 110, you may have something that looks like this for your dryer, which is 220. Plug it into that and you'll burn the coach down. 15 amp, so you have the adapter just in case you want to run the lights or what have you while you're home in your driveway. Storage on the right side has the garden hose we talked about, has your waste supply hose, has some leveling blocks, and it has the wood that fills in. There's 3 pieces of wood that fill in this gap so that you can take the beds and make one big sleeping area out of them. We'll get to that in just a minute. Each bed has a movable headrest. You see the support comes up and you have a nice angle for your head. You can watch TV, whatever you're going to do. To lower that, pick it all the way up and it comes right back down. So you can adjust the angle of that. Rear shade. This entire unit unzips, unclips, comes down, zips down both sides, and it closes off your back door area with a screen. So bugs can't get in, people can't get in, but the air can still circulate. You leave your back doors open, obviously not while you're driving. When you're camping, leave that closed. You have a whole house vent fan that's going to use the air circulation very nicely. We supply you with all the propane that the unit can hold. So the tanks are full when you leave. If you need to refill the propane access is right under here. And you go into any supplier of propane and they will hook right up and they'll fill your propane. Now, word of caution, with the Roadtrek vans in particular, if you shut the propane valve off, when you go to open it, must open it very slowly or you'll jam the regulator and then you'll have no propane. If you have questions about that, please ask. To open your sliding side door, unlatch and then push it all the way open. Now, when it's all the way open, it's locked. It can't close on you. So if you're at a little bit of an angle, you want to make sure it's all the way open so the door doesn't come back and crush you. To close the door, unlatch it again, and then it slides freely. You have a nice grab handle on the right-hand side. When you step up onto the step bar, it gives you firm footing. This is the same shade as you have in the back. Comes down, zips both ways, has a nice screen in it, so you have great air circulation if you're not going to be using the air conditioning. When this screen is closed, to get in and out of the coach, there's a magnet. So this is attached to your screen. So you just push the magnet aside, walk in, and let it go, and it finds its home again. We're going to go into the coach. Come on in. So the first thing you're going to notice is this is the control panel. This works the electronics in the coach. So you can disconnect this. You see no readout here, and everything is off back here. None of your lights are going to work. Nothing's going to work. So when you're ready to camp, you turn that on. Now, you're not going to turn that off until you're done with the camper. The reason being, when this is on, the refrigerator's on. So if you were to turn this off, your refrigerator's going to go off. So generally, when you start camping, you're going to turn your power on, you're going to leave it on. You're going to look at the battery voltage. 12.84, 12.83 is where it is right now. If it gets down into the low 11s, you have to find a way to charge it. There's a couple different ways to charge it. The plug that I showed you in the back, when that's plugged in, inverter's on, charging your batteries. If you don't have access to that power cord, maybe at your campground or whatever, if you run the truck engine, that will recharge these batteries. The third way is to run your generator, and that will recharge your house batteries as well. Got to keep the power up to make sure that everything that you need to work is working. You have an inverter. Inverter is off right now. We turn the inverter on, you're going to wait a couple seconds, and you're going to see the microwave come on, and you're going to hear the beep. That tells you that now we have taken the 12-volt power and made 110 house power out of it with no extra hookups. So I can use the microwave, I can use the TV, can't use the air conditioning. There's not enough power to use the air conditioning, but I can use the outlets, the 110 outlets. And you want the inverter on when you're plugged in the back, because that will also act as your battery charger to keep your 12-volt batteries charged. So if you want to run your air conditioning, you're going to need the inverter on, either the generator or the plug in the back. Those are the two power sources that'll get you enough power to run your air conditioning. Moving on, water pump. To get water out of the belly tank that we filled, not the constant water, but the belly tank that we filled, you turn your water pump on. That'll give you water pressure in your sink, your toilet, and your shower. If you're using the campground's water pressure hooked up under the bumper, you don't need to turn the water pump on. You're using their pressure. You have a light switch here, patio light. It's an outside light. This is a monitoring panel for liquid propane gas, LPG, liquid propane gas. So we push that button. We see 3 red lights that shows that the propane tanks are 2/3 full. While you're using the coach, if you say, hey, how much propane do I have left for my heater, for my hot water heater, or for cooking, then you take a look at this, push the button. Fresh water. How much fresh water am I currently carrying with me? Doesn't tell you how much that your campground is supplying, but it tells you how much the belly tank is holding. Black tank. When you use the toilet, it fills the black tank. Gray tank is your soapy water. So black tank is your toilet tank, gray tank is your soapy water. It shows how much capacity you have to hold those wastewaters until you have to empty them. We have an outside power awning. Now, day like today, it's kind of breezy. Probably going to want to be real careful with that outside awning because the wind will take it like a sail and damage it. Before you travel, make sure it's all the way in. Do not ever move the coach with the awning out, but please be very careful using the awning. Wind and rain are not its friend. The generator. So, onboard generator, it's going to run off the gasoline tank for the coach, and it will provide 110 power. To start it, push and start hold until it starts. Now that it's running, now we can release that button. We have an hour meter here, shows how many hours the generator runs. You get 1 hour free with each day you rent, and it's $5 per hour after that, or $20 a day unlimited use. So when you're using the generator, keep that in mind. The generator, when it's turned on and your inverter is turned on, you're recharging your batteries and you're supplying enough power to run your air conditioning, your TV, your microwave, or all your plugs. If you have to use a hairdryer or something like that, you're going to want to use the generator to make sure you have enough power. Of course, I don't know too much about hairdryers. Sink works like every other sink, has a pull-out handle, hot and cold, on and off. Right now we have no water to show you because the coach is winterized. This is a 2-burner propane stove. To start it, much like a grill, turn it to light, push it in and hold it, click the igniter, and then your propane is lit. So you have 2 individual burners. When you're done, make sure you turn it all the way off. And then please don't shut the lid until this cools off, because the lid is not tempered glass and it will shatter if it gets too hot. All the lights that you see here and up on the roof are all touch. So you can turn as many on or off as you want with just the touch of a finger. Microwave works like every other microwave in your house. The dish inside rattles when you travel. I usually recommend insulating that with a towel or something, paper towels, what have you. Inside this cabinet, we can get a nice shot here. You have the table leg. It's all clipped in. So we're going to take that out. We're going to show you how that works. The end of the table leg has a little notch. That notch fits into the fixture in the floor, and then you simply tighten it. That's your table leg. As we looked at before, when I opened the back door, the tabletop is there. Pick the tabletop up, put it right on top, and you have a table. It swivels, it does everything you need it to do, and when you want it out of the way, you put the tabletop away, unscrew this, and simply pick up. This table leg also works in the fixture up front. So we'll show you how to swivel the seats, and you can have a table set up here or there. You only have one table, you can put it in either 2 spots. TV works like every other TV in the world. Hit your power button and then go through your menu search. Search for the channels that the TV antenna can pick up in your area. It needs to be on air for the antenna choices, and then do your channel search, and then you'll get every channel available to you. Right here, right now, there's probably 50 channels or so available. Where you camp, there may be many, many, many less. The TV also is a smart TV, so you can plug in your USB. TV articulates out, so you can swivel it. You can turn it around so you can watch it from the front area, or you can watch it from the back. Overhead compartments, open, close, storage, no surprise. Underneath, there's 2 drawers. These are for storage. To open the drawers, you must open both latches at the same time, and then just snap it shut. Single beds, 2 single beds, 2 twin beds. This bed has 2 side-facing seat belts, lap belts only. When you're sleeping, you can tuck them behind the pillows, so obviously you're not sleeping on seat belts. Cushions are removable. This cushion has cup holders in it. So what we do with this cushion, if you'd like, is we put one of the filler panels between the head panel, makes kind of a nightstand for you, and you still have the aisle to walk back and forth to the bathroom. If you'd like to connect both the beds together, make one big sleeping area, underneath here you're going to see a ledge. There's a ledge on either side. The wood panels that we showed you in the storage area in the back come out one at a time, put them on the wood ledge, fill in with the cushions that we have available. And you have one big sleeping area. Underneath here, there's a very nice storage area. Lift, lift. The black bag that you see in there is the front windshield and side window privacy shades. Take them out and they snap right in place. Okay, moving on. Thermostat. Once you have your power on in your coach, touch mode, this little itsy bitsy word here says off. I know you can't see it, but you're going to have to trust me for a minute. It says off. Touch the mode button again and you're on fan only, low, high, and auto. Generally leave that on automatic. It'll do what it needs to do. Touch lights underneath. Outlets, front and back. Okay, so if you need a CPAP, you're there. For your cabinet that we have down here, we will supply you with your RV toilet paper and the chemicals that you need for the black tank. I'll go over all that with you, but we use this as a storage cabinet. You have a nice big drawer here. Can't hold a lot of weight in the drawer, but a lot of volume it can hold. So don't put your pots and pans in there. Put your pots and pans on the other side. Refrigerator. Refrigerator is now 12 volt. So it will run as long as we have this 12 volt power on. This refrigerator will operate. Very, very quick to cool down. Only takes about 20 minutes. You have a road lock, pull-out pantry for all your food goods. When you get to your destination or you pull over and you need to use the bathroom, raise this rod up and forward and it locks in place, and then your doors will open. Right door first, left door second. Toilet paper holder, foot flush toilet, nice size sink, hot and cold, and then of course the shower as well. Now, these doors close in such a way to give you a little bit extra knee space inside. They close like this. What happens is there's a hook here and an eye here. So when you're inside, you close them like this and hook that eye, and you have a little bit more space inside. Kind of tricky if you ask me. Side table. Gives you a little extra counter space. You have your outlets here. You have 12 volt, or I'm sorry, 110. You have USB and you have 12 volt. To release the table, there's two releases underneath. Take the pressure off, push them up, lock back into place. On the floor, you have a carbon monoxide detector. If that detector goes off, chances are it didn't break. It's very, very sensitive. If the coach next to you started and you have air circulation coming in, chances are it's going to go off. Give it a minute, it'll shut itself off. Up here on the right-hand side is you have a regular smoke detector. Use it as you would your smoke detector at home. If it goes off, that means you were cooking something, maybe you weren't cooking so well, you'll figure that out. But if there's no smoke and it's going off, then you know it's a battery issue. You do have a fire extinguisher right here, handy for you. And you have more 110 outlets here. These outlets are conveniently located if you're using them for outside, because they're right near the outside door. That's a quick overview of the house part of the coach. A couple things I'm going to show you up front, and then if you have any questions, you're going to call and you're going to ask. Okay, your seats swivel, so you can use your seats as a grouping area. We talked about putting the table there. There is a control underneath the front. See the yellow bar? You pick up on the yellow bar and that starts the seat to spin. Now, to move the seat all the way around, you have to make sure it's not going to hit the pillar. Sometimes you have to slide it forward, goes all the way around, and then you can of course adjust it as you go. You cannot ride in the vehicle with the seats not locked forward, because obviously the safety systems, airbags, and seat belts will not work correctly. Thank you very much. It's your public service announcement. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Lou. I'm the rental manager at Fretz RV in Souderton. Best way to reach me is email Lou, L-O-U, at fretzrv.com. You can see this video on fretzrv.com, and you can also book the rental or what have you. Any questions are answered on the website. But please feel free to reach out. Phone number 215-723-3121, extension 106. Gets you right to my desk. Thank you very much.